This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio, where we broadcast live Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. We welcome your calls, your comments, and your questions. If you want to join our conversation, all you have to do is pick up your phone and dial 347-857-3958. Again, that number is 347-857-3958. So, Bertrand?
Yes, sir.
How was your day today, sir?
It was great.
Tell me all about it.
I got caught up on a lot of blogging today, answered some emails, did a couple of sales calls, and here I am.
Wow. Well, hey, it sounds like that you were pretty busy today.
Really busy.
Well, you know what? We do have a guest in the studio today.
A special guest.
So if you are watching us on our website, www.cruzandhughes.com, you can see this pretty lady that's sitting to the left of Bertrand and myself. Her name is Miss Laura Morales, and she's the founder of a company called Energize Your Outlook. So we want to get her going early so we can set the momentum. And Laura's a good friend of mine. I'm going to introduce her by saying that she is a speaking and training and consulting professional. She works with corporations, universities, nonprofits, and she assists them in motivating and energizing these organizations through speaking engagements, networking workshops, and interpersonal communications training. And I want to say welcome back to the show, Laura.
Thank you, John. I'm so happy to be here.
You know, it's been almost a year since the last time that you were on the show with us.
I can't believe it. It's been a very fast year.
It's been a very, very quick year. I mean, think about it. It's almost Christmas time now.
I know. Golly, that's scary that it went by that fast.
Very scary. But tell me all about what's been going on in the past year.
Well, a lot has been going on, and I appreciate being on the show, being back on the show. As you know, I am high energy, and I'm loving being here with both you and Bertrand. But a whole lot has been going on in my business. I've been doing more speaking.
Okay.
I've been continuing to do the workshops, and I was really excited because last week I had an opportunity to do some training for one of my former employers, and that was in my old corporate world. So that
Really?
and it was for the sales group, because salespeople, like all of us, understand that you have to connect with your audience, your client, your customers, and it was great.
Now, for those of you who may not remember Laura, like I say, she's done the show with us before. But Laura, tell us a little bit about what you do and who you do it for. What would you say, or who would you say is your ideal client?
My ideal client is a business professional who's looking to connect better, to come out of their shell so that they can, I say connect using that word loosely, but really connect and get to know their customer, their client. And so often we as business professionals sometimes feel like we don't measure up enough, and consequently we're afraid to speak up or go introduce ourselves or go make a contact and just take the initiative. So what I like to do is help them to come out of their shell, like break out and go for it.
So you work with individuals.
I work with individuals.
Okay.
My main clientele are corporate professionals, and
Okay.
I'm usually brought in at one time to work with a group of people at one time to do a workshop. However, following the workshop, generally there are people afterwards that will want to work with me one-on-one to really help them. And some of my one-on-one clients outside of corporations are individuals who have, a lot of women who have become heads of boards, where they now have to present to sometimes an all-male board or a national board where they're traveling around the country and want to be able to sit at the front of a conference table and be the lead and feel confident and be able to do that.
Wow. Wow. I mean, and I think Bertrand and I, we sort of talked earlier in the week a little bit about having that confidence to step out there. And you and I have even spoken about my past where I dropped, I told you I dropped speech 3 times in college. And to this day, I still have not completed college speech. And it was because I just didn't have that confidence. And being at the front of a room, I didn't care if it was just 2 people or 200. I would just lock up. I would freeze up. And even in the corporate world, that really, I saw where that was stifling my growth. I mean, there was some of the things that needed to be done in our department where it called for a level of expertise, but also a level of leadership. I would be overlooked because I just wanted to sort of sit in the corner and not be noticed. And I felt at some point I have to get over this. Now, how do you help people get over that?
Well, I help them first by going through a lot of basic steps. And I like to take them back to when they were very young, because I think it all starts with the basics. And I start to ask them questions about things when they were very little. I mean, it might seem very obvious to you, but it's not to a lot of other people. And I'll start with asking them things. For instance, if I were to bring you a present, John, what would you say to me?
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's very automatic.
Right.
A lot of times we think that we know all these things, but we just don't do them. And most of the time people will say thank you, but oftentimes they forget and they take for granted the things that are, I say, so basic, but so intrinsic to who we are as people, because we're all humans. We all like to be appreciated. And too often we don't say thank you for even the smallest things. And yet Larry Winget says little hinges swing big doors.
Good point.
Because it's the little things that count. And so what I try to do is really instill in them an ability to, little by little, baby steps, go back to those early years and start doing some of those things that we learned then. And I mean, number one is smile. When you walk in front of somebody and they're coming towards you, it doesn't cost you anything. Just smile.
Certainly.
It's very disarming and it makes people feel comfortable. So that's one of those really, really basics. And I always do that in a workshop. I'll just have them turn around and look at each other and I'll say, you don't even have to say anything, but I want you to smile. And typically the energy starts to rise because they start to laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Bertrand, what I think about is, I played sports in school.
Yep.
And I could not understand why in basketball we would have to do 500 left-hand layups. If you were right-handed, you had to do 500 left-hand layups. And for the left-handed guys, they had to do 500 right-hand layups. And I didn't understand it until I got into a game one day, got a steal on a fast break, and just automatically I did it. And the coach was like, did you finally notice you did it? And you didn't even think about it. So it's those little things that I can see where if mastery of those small things get you the big rewards. I like that.
It's mastery of what I hear you saying is mastery of the fundamentals. I mean, there's
Very
beauty in mastering the fundamentals, because you can't do the fancy stuff or the high level stuff unless you're great at the basics.
At the basics.
And that's what you're talking about.
Yes. And to your point about going back to the sports, and very fundamental is practice. So I like to call it the 3 P's of the Brady Bunch. Instead of Marsha, it's practice with little things over and over. And again, to your point of the sports, he had you do those repetitions. What did you say, 500 times?
500 times.
Because I'll do a callback in my classes or my conferences, and I'll say, all right, I want you to repeat after me. Please say over and over and over. And all. So I'm going to ask you, will you please repeat after me? Over and over and over.
Over and over and over.
And that's because we have to do those little things to say thank you, to say please, to acknowledge someone's presence, to smile at them, to walk into a room and with your shoulders back and confident.
Absolutely. Now, I want to say this. Laura also teaches the art of networking at Rice University's Glasscock School of Continuing Studies, and she has brought some of her students in the past to our class or to our show, and I love talking to them and listening to the things that they say that they've received after having taken your class. Now, you're teaching a class right now.
Yes.
Now, how often is the class offered?
We've been offering it every fall for the last 6 years. This last spring, we offered it for the first time in the spring. And the beauty is again, it's all business professionals from all age ranges, all various ethnicities, various cultures. And in that class, again, it lasts for 7 weeks. So we just passed our 5th week. We have 2 more weeks. And at the end of the class, we do something as a group, some event, a dinner, a social hour, a networking event where they get to either bring their guests and or go to meet new people at some event.
Okay, now, and the class isn't taught remotely. You have to be in the Houston area in order to partake in the class, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But I do take that show on the road.
Do you? Okay. so you will travel.
I do. I will travel. Have suitcase, will travel, and have done that in a few places out on the East Coast and now on the West Coast. And it's just, again, it's all about connecting with people. And one of the things that typically comes out of those classes is that it's not just connecting outside, but even into their internal organizations, and now they can do that better.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, as you're helping to redevelop someone's outlook in terms of themselves, how often do you have to address the physical part of them? In terms of the way that they dress, the way I noticed that you talked about, smiling and doing those things that, you should be doing to happily engage another human being. But how often do you have to start looking at, okay, let's work on your attire, because what you wear, in my opinion, we live in such a physical world, a world of appearances.
Yes.
I would think that you would have to also work with a person in that regard as well.
I do, and that's actually every time I'm there, or every time I'm in a session, because so much of that first impression is just in a matter of seconds,
right?
And it's the physical presence that makes it happen.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, and I want to know a little bit about. Laura has an interesting story as well in terms of why she does what she does, and you and I, we've been talking about the why all week.
Oh, God, great.
We've been practicing that. We say it in harmony, But the thing is, I want to talk a little bit about your why. You have such a fascinating story. So when we come back, we're going to address that. Our guest today is Miss Laura Morales. Laura, if you want to let them know how they can get in touch with you.
Sure. They can reach me by email at laura@energizeyouroutlook.com or by phone 713-385-1013.
Her web address is www.energizeyouroutlook.com. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, which is brought to you by Small Business Today magazine, the only magazine in the Houston area that talks about the movers and shakers in the entrepreneurial community. If you'd like to see more about that magazine and get one free to your inbox, all you have to do is go to smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com, put your information in, and we'll be glad to send you one each and every month. More in a moment with Miss Laura Morales. Stick around.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
Storm coming.
the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham Directing. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining in, our guest today is Miss Laura Morales. She is the founder of a company called Energize Your Outlook, and she is a speaking, training, and consulting professional. We've been talking a little bit about what Laura does, who her ideal client is. Now, Laura, Bertrand and I have been talking about your why to. And the why you do something is equally, if not more important, as the what you do. And you know, when you and I first met, we talked a little bit about your experience and coming out of your own shell,
Yes.
and becoming this wonderful butterfly that we're all looking at, especially if you're on our website watching what we're doing here in the studio. Tell us a little bit about that and how you got to become the person that you are and why you do this.
Thanks. Yes, I feel really fortunate because for a long time, up until I was about 11 or 12 years old, I had a lot of self-image issues. And although I would consider myself slender today, I was very, 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 very skinny. And I also had really thick glasses. And so there was this constant image of myself of really not looking very good. And unfortunately, I was allowing what was on the outside to define what was on the inside.
Yeah.
However, I had an opportunity about the age of 12 to see a little friend of mine who also had a lot of image issues and very awkward. I saw her very confidently introduce herself to my aunt who I was living with at the time. And where I had trouble just meeting kids my own age, let alone an adult that seemed old, maybe 58, 59 years old, I saw her just remove herself from the equation, my little friend, and introduce herself to my aunt. And it was during that few seconds, really, that it hit me that she had a lot of the same issues that I had and suffered from, and yet it's as if, again, she removed herself from all of that because when she noticed that there was this older person that she needed to acknowledge, she turned around, did that great, beautiful smile, beautiful blue eyes, she took her hand out, which had the issues she had were with her skin, and shook this lady's hand and introduced herself and said, "How are you?" And it was, again, just a few seconds, but it struck me that we both suffered from the same thing. And how was it that she could do that? More importantly, after this event took place, when I got home with my aunt and she was talking to my other aunts, they asked her how the event had gone, an open house at my school. And this aunt said to them, "Oh my goodness, the open house was fine, but you wouldn't believe I met this wonderful little girl who is one of Laura's friends." And she said, she used the word in Spanish, simpática, that to mean really personable and engaging. And I was taken aback a second time, not just from watching my friend Melissa, but now listening to my aunt, who was so impressed and who was telling all these other people how great it was when this little girl engaged with her. All that said, if we fast forward, as I continued to go through school, I made it a point to realize that if I didn't worry about myself and just focused on you, Bertrand, or you, John, then it didn't matter. And if I could make you feel welcome and make you feel like you belong here, then it was golden. And the interaction was great because it was really connecting and being able to say, you know what? Not only did I see you, did I meet you, but I listened to you and I value who you are.
Right.
Wow.
And we all want that, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And I've heard that story before, but I found myself falling into that story again every time you tell it. I think it's a great story.
Absolutely. And I think that, for the most part, I don't know at what age it hits us, but at some point, and it's probably when we start grade school, that we become really self-conscious of ourselves. And I think up until the time before I started school, I thought I was a superhero, but then just society, friends, the cruelty of the world can sort of beat you down. And it takes something like that to happen in your life to realize, you know what, I can do that. I can be that person that other people are at home talking about,
Yes.
And more importantly, I could be that person because I'm not thinking about me.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about you.
And that focus is all on the other person. And even now we joke, my husband sometimes will joke with me, and I think you've had the same thing, John, that when we go to a party, I might not know anybody or other than my husband if we're both there together, but I try to make it a point to go and meet somebody, especially somebody that might be standing by themselves that looks like they don't really want to be there and they feel very uncomfortable. And on occasion, my husband has said, well, it's like as if you're the party host. And I said, that's right, because I also know that in my mind, when I turn the switch and realize that, again, there's somebody that could use a hand, that just, again, a little bit of help or somebody to make you feel welcome, well, then I do become the party host because I want you to know that you're here and I value that you're here and let me learn about you.
Right,
Wow.
right. Now, let's talk a little bit about what you do and what you teach. Now, I know one of those things is networking.
Yes.
And how important would you say networking is, and at what point should we start focusing on building a network?
I would say it's all important, all encompassing, meaning all the time. My friend James Malinchek says always be marketing. Well, I always say always be networking, meaning just meet new people all the time. Never miss an opportunity to engage with someone. And that engagement can just be listening.
Surely.
It can be talking, but you can never let it go. And you should do it all the time because, unfortunately, I bring it back to today's economy. With the unemployment rate being so high and people looking for jobs, if they've never taken a moment to acknowledge, say thank you, do some of those things to people that have helped them along the way, then how does it come across if I come to you and I need something? I'm going to come and I want something from you. And if you've never really given me the time of day or again, acknowledged my presence in any way, why would I be receptive to that? So I feel like you should always network, always be grateful, always appreciate, and do little things for people all the time. Because when you need something, you don't want to appear that you're needy, and you want to make it easy for that person to help you.
Now, I have a 21-year-old daughter, and I'm encouraging her now to network with the people that she's in school with, that these people, especially the bright kids that are much like yourself, are going to go off and do great things at some place in the world.
Yes.
Who better to say that, hey, I had a relationship with this person when I was in college or when I was in school, than she herself doesn't understand the importance of networking at the moment. But I'm telling her, set up your LinkedIn, set up your Twitter and your Facebook, and be very careful about what you post on those platforms. But would you say that getting her prepared in college is too soon?
No, I think that's brilliant because it really is all the connections. College, it could even go as early as high school, as young as you can teach a child, I think, to understand that it's important to just connect with people. And I if I may share something, one of my students from another class who was, as she said, in her third career, attended a function and was upset that she was going to have to sit with a 5-year-old, and it was an evening function. And she said, I was really upset, and her husband said, well, I'll switch. She said, no, I'll sit down. So she sits at this table next to this little girl who's all of about 5 years old. And it's about 8 o'clock at night, and so they sit down for the dinner. And the little girl looks at her and she introduces herself confidently and tells her name. And so my friend Joan says, well, hello. And so she introduces herself. The little girl proceeds to lean over and looks at Joan and she says, so Joan, what's your story? And again, she's 5 years old, but she's starting that young to find out what's Joan all about.
Now, I wonder who taught her that, but I love that.
That's right. Great. What's your story?
Well, now, Laura, I'm certain that you get some people who run their own businesses or some people who are so engrossed in what they do that they feel that they don't have the time to master those skills, and I think that's probably the biggest thing that I hear from entrepreneurs or people, I don't have the time to do it. What would you say to that?
I would say, don't think of it as making time. Just think of it as all the time. A lot of times people will say to me, I don't have time to go to an event. I don't have time to register for this because I can't fit it into my schedule. So my response is, that's okay. You don't have to go to events. You can be at your office. You can be at the grocery store, at the post office, in line for your cable box. You can be anywhere, and you have an opportunity to, again, be around people and learn and listen and ask questions.
You're describing a lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Bertrand. It is a lifestyle.
So it's not just something that you do occasionally.
Correct. It's all the time, because if you start, my main motto is to be open to different cultures, different genders, ethnicities, sexual orientation, everything, that you can just be open rather than be judgmental, and it gives you a wealth of opportunities.
Wow. And that's a strong statement, because some people are very limited when it comes to those things. If a person is, too thin, too fat, too black, too gay, too whatever the case may be, and you're saying that, you got to let all of that go.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. We're going to take a short break. Our guest today is Miss Laura Morales. If you'd like to connect with Laura, you can do so by giving her a phone call at 713-385-1013, or you can go to her website, which is energizeyourOutlook.com. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, which is brought to you by Sales Nexus. If you need a good CRM system that can definitely help you in increasing your sales performance, go to salesnexus.com, put your information in. They'll let you test drive the software for free, and I'm certain that'll make a difference in your business. More in a moment with Laura Morales. Stick around.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, Disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee News. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
This storm's coming.
the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Miss Laura Morales. You can connect with Laura at energizeyouroutlook.com. We've been talking a little bit about what Energize Your Outlook is, and I think that it's something that so many of us can benefit from, even those of us who feel that we are great networkers, people who think that we do have it on the ball. It's nothing wrong with getting a tune-up from time to time, and I encourage you to connect with Laura. I'm certain that she can put something into your head that would change your outlook. You can call her at 713-385-1013. Now, Laura, I spoke at your class last evening. Had a wonderful time. I hope that you invite me back.
Oh, yes, of course. It was great.
And Laura and I actually met on LinkedIn. And we are poster children for each other in regards to how we feel about LinkedIn. So I want to sort of, because you were on the topic of social media last night, especially as it relates to people who are in business. Now, to me, your ability to survive in business and to be profitable depends heavily on your network, and that includes your customers or your ability to build a customer base. What are your thoughts when someone would say to you, well, I'm not really big in the social media thing. You know, I'm not on LinkedIn. I'm not really into Facebook or those platforms. What are your thoughts?
Well, I would say that it's certainly a personal decision for everybody, whether they want to be engaged on social media or not. However, from a business perspective, I totally believe that it would be a very good thing for people to be on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a business. It's a professional online network. And although it's different from Facebook because it doesn't allow you to post lots of different pictures and so forth, it does allow you to post recommendations for people for their experience, for the work you've done with them. It allows you to post articles that are informative to the business community, to your customers, to your vendors. And it also gives you an opportunity, just most recently with some enhancements they've made, very easily to endorse people that you have worked with and have done business with, to give them really an attaboy, or yes, you endorse them and say you support that because you think that they're good at what they do.
Now, Bertrand,
yes,
I sort of know where you stand on this issue, but I'd love for you to chime in and say what your thoughts are, because, you know, as I'm thinking, how could you possibly be in business, trying to build a business, but have certain doors to yourself or inroads to your business cut off by not being on these platforms?
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't sort of know where I stand. You know exactly where I stand on this, because I totally agree with what Laura's saying. Absolutely. As many avenues as there are to connect is what you need to be running down. LinkedIn is one of many. And we were just talking before we came back from break. All this technology, all this internet application, it's not going away. So like it or don't like it, jump on board or don't jump on board, it's only going to get more than it is right now.
Yes.
You know, I'm a firm believer in being wherever your customer is. And if your customer is on LinkedIn, then why would you not be there also? If your customer is on Facebook, why would you not be on Facebook? And my thing is that, you know, I also have an opinion, I'm full of them, about those individuals who hide all their information. I'm thinking, what the heck are you doing on here if you're going to hide every single thing? Now, if you're a double agent or you got some top secret military clearance, I guess I get it. But if you are a salesperson, I mean, I got a friend of mine. I don't even want to call him a friend. I have an associate who is in the insurance business, but when I went to his LinkedIn, he's got like information that you really can't see, and you know, you can't get his email address. I'm like, what are you, a secret agent?
It almost makes you. It almost makes you not want to do business with that person.
Right.
Because it makes you question.
I'm turned off.
Well, I don't know if it questions, but it turns me off.
Yes.
I'm trying to hook up. I'm trying to connect. And might try to be friends. Might try to recommend you, but you're blocking me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And so, I mean, is business really that good for you that you don't need anymore? I think you should open yourself up. Be careful what you post. I mean, me personally, I have a personal Facebook page, and I pretty much accept anyone as long as you don't post any type of ridiculous stuff. And I give you the opportunity to befriend me. And I want you to see who I am to a degree, because I consider myself to be a public personality, someone that I depend on my ability to meet people in order to take care of my family. And you need to know who I am if you're going to trust me with your business. So my thing is, befriend people, open those doors, and make it easy for people to connect with you. At least that's my thought.
Yes. Well, and I'll just to second that, I'm going to go back just to LinkedIn, although it would really apply to all of the social media.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that you would use the same behavior, meaning behave well online as you should in person. So I'd like for both of you, I know you'll know this, but if you can finish this sentence off for me, please.
Okay.
If you don't have something nice to say,
don't say anything at all.
Correct.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say put it on Facebook.
Well, and actually, John, that's a great segue, because unfortunately people are doing that.
That's right.
And I think that's really what it can be, a deterrent to other people for even wanting to get on.
Surely.
But also it can damage your reputation, because in person you would behave in a good manner, and I don't think you would be blasting somebody, because that's just not the right thing to do.
Right.
And so I like to think that those translate as well to being online, that do the things that you would do in person.
That's right. Or in front of your mother.
Yes, in front of your mother.
Yeah. So I wouldn't post anything on any social media platform that my mother could not read, and that's just my thought.
That's
and,
great.
Some people say, well, you know what, John, I like to keep my personal life personal. Nothing wrong with that. If you're still a business person, especially if you're in any sort of sales, and I think everything at some point is reduced to sales, still put up a personal profile, but then perhaps do a alias, in another name that you use just for your family life, where you do things just for them, so those relationships don't get muddled with your business or professional relationships.
Yes.
And I think that's an option for those people. But I'm going to tell you something. In this day and age, if you go and you apply for a job, that job is going to do what?
They're going to go look at your profile.
They're going to look up every profile. They're going to try to Google you and find as much information as they can about you.
Yes.
So now, if I'm going to be your customer and you are referred to me as an attorney or as a bookkeeper, or what do you think I'm going to do? And I'm going to tell you, in this day and age, if I can't find any information on you, the consensus is that then there's something bad about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's 40 years old, or who's been in business 10 or 15 years and has nothing, absolutely nothing out there on them?
Right.
I think you got to have something out there. That's just my thought.
I agree. And I think it just can help you. And if you do it in the right way, you have all kinds of wonderful things that happen. Great new business relationships, new clients, new jobs.
Friendships, new jobs. That's right. Now, let's talk a little bit about networking. Now, we have all networked until our ears have bled, and we've seen it done well, and we've seen it done not so well. Tell me some of the things that you're teaching your clients as it relates to being an effective networker, especially as it relates to attending events.
Oh, even better. Okay, because I'm going to bring in the physical element.
Okay.
The first thing, and this is going to seem very obvious, but I can't take anything for granted. Look in the mirror before you walk out the door.
Do you mean people don't do that?
Because, again, and you both are always so professionally dressed, but I think sometimes people forget that, oh my gosh, I didn't iron that shirt. Oh, it won't matter. Oh, it does matter. Because those first impressions are lasting impressions. But I would definitely say, look in the mirror before you go. Go with an open mind and an open heart. Okay, I say, accessible to people. Smile. Make yourself approachable and attractive to people that would want to talk to you.
Let me ask you about, what do you mean by open heart?
Open heart, again, I say open heart, meaning you're ready to learn to receive, not to judge.
Okay.
You're just there. Again, we were talking about first impressions.
Yeah.
But be open. Leave that heart open so that you never know what you're going to hear. You never know who you're going to meet. And I think having that open heart and an inquisitive mind, a curious attitude, really can go a long way.
You're talking about being present for that other person in that interaction.
Yes,
Okay.
and at the break you mentioned in the moment. Be present, be in the moment.
But non-judgmental. I really love that.
Correct.
And you know, when I think about the times that I have networked when no one in the room looks like me, or no one in the room is of the same background that I'm from, and how intimidated one can be and how judgmental one can be, where at times I remember thinking, well, these people aren't going to want to have anything to do with me. Nobody here is going to be interested in anything that I have to say. And that's what I think about when you say having an open heart. You know, just be in the moment, be there, be brilliant, be beautiful, and expect the same in return, and just see what happens.
Yes.
And be there for you.
Yeah.
For the other person.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Okay, now before we go to break, you got to give us another one.
All right, another one would be, as you walk into that room, make sure that before you walk in, you put your shoulders back. Think about somebody pulling a string from your head.
Stand tall.
Stand tall. Be proud of who you are. And it doesn't matter if you're fat, skinny, big, small. Be proud of who you are, because you're just as valuable as the next person.
Wow. Fundamentals.
Yeah, it goes back to that.
Yeah.
Now, Laura, you haven't written a book on this yet?
Actually, I have. Well, I've taken a lot of tips from what I've imparted.
And where can someone find this
And
information?
they can find it on my website at www.energizeyouroutlook.com. And under my resources tab and on the site, you can click through. But my ebook is called Present Yourself with Confidence, 35 Tips to Present Yourself Confidently in Any Situation.
Our guest today is Miss Laura Morales. She's the founder of Energize Your Outlook. If you'd like to connect with her, you could go to energizeyouroutlook.com, or you can give her a call on her business line at 713-385-1013. Again, that number is 713-385-1013. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, or shall I say with McHenry and Cruz, which is brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. Stick around. The education continues in just a moment.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, Disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee News. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan, the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining in and you haven't been watching all week, then you know that our good friend Irvin Hughes is a little under the weather this week, so he's taking some time off to get his strength back up. Irvin, if you're watching, get well, my friend. We're looking forward to your speedy and quick return next week. We've had our good friend Bertrand McHenry sitting in with me all week, and it has been a blast. And, you know, I really don't want you to leave, man.
I know, it's been fun.
You know, I gotta work you into this thing somehow. We got to have maybe 8 or 9 people on this panel that we do every day.
It's just been like a long coffee break all week.
You know what?
We've been
talking about bringing in some wine, a couple cigars,
a little mobile fireplace back here with fireside chats.
Fireside chats with McHenry and Cruz. All right, back to business.
Yep.
Now, our guest today is Miss Laura Morales. She's the founder of a company called Energize Your Outlook, and you can reach out to her at energizeyouroutlook.com. Now, Laura, I want to talk about some of the egregious, nasty mistakes that you see people making, things that we can learn from. What should we not be doing as we're out into the public, representing ourselves and our brand? Because in my opinion, even if you're a small business with no budget, you are still a brand and you have to do the things necessary to protect that. What should we not be doing?
Okay, well, one of the first things that I can definitely tell you, especially if it is at an event or at a meeting that you attend or even a social engagement, as you start talking to each other, please don't just immediately take out your business card and hand it to the other person as if they want it, because they might not have any desire for it. And yet you see this all the time.
Card swap.
And in an immediate, here, take my card. I may not even want it.
Yeah. Right. Who are you? And what do you do?
Yes, and because, again, they've not made any connection and they've not been in the moment to really engage.
Have you found that some people actually do that before a handshake takes place, before a greeting? They lead with the business card?
Yes.
Before flesh touches flesh?
Yes. Yes. They do that quite often.
Yeah.
Another really huge mistake, and I believe we've all experienced this. Now I think we're all much wiser. But that is that too often they talk too much. And rather than really make it a dialogue or a conversation by going back and forth, it becomes really all about me. And again, that's going to be a huge turnoff.
I mean, right off the bat, those are two of the best tips I think that you could have given. And people who I believe that are in a position to help you in your business or to do something for you, they pay attention to those types of things. People who talk too much, people who automatically come in and give a business card very quickly. And that's a lesson that I had to learn. I thought that the whole purpose, I thought networking was, all right, I got 15 cards last night. And it was my boss who had to let me know that, John, you're just stacking up paper, but this means nothing. Right. And there's more to it than just you coming back and saying, okay, well, I got 25 cards. You can see I was out networking. Well, that's not really networking. That's just stacking paper. And I hope that our listeners are really getting the importance of what you're saying, because that does make a difference in how you're received by the people that you're trying to impress.
Yes. And Bertrand, do you have something to add to
No,
that?
I think that's absolutely right on target. I love see everything that you're talking about. To me, goes to these are nuts and bolts things that people can grab onto today and start using tomorrow, or even
Yes.
tonight. If they're going to a mixer tonight or a blender tonight, they can use any of these tips you're giving them right now.
Yes, right now, immediate,
and improve their results instantly.
Okay,
Immediate action.
now hit us with another one. I mean, you hit these out the park. I mean, tell us something else that you've seen that we should refrain from.
Another one would be, and this happens oftentimes, is people will get into another person's space and you see them move back and then you see that other person move forward. And it happens. I love to just observe because I'm also observing people, but I'm watching people watch other people. And oftentimes if I'm watching a couple of people engaged, then I notice the person who is getting introduced kind of moves a little bit if the other person gets too close.
Right.
So I would say be careful not to invade somebody's space.
Yeah.
Be sensitive to the handshakes. We're in Houston. It is the most diverse city in America. Be sensitive also to some of the cultural mixes that we have.
Surely.
And again, I say be sensitive, meaning just be understanding. Somebody might not want to shake your hand because in their culture it's not proper to shake hands.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a nod or it's a little pat on the heart.
Certainly.
Different things. So be sensitive to other people.
We are an international city, but you and I both teach DISC.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, you're talking about moving into someone's space too soon. So talk about behavioral styles a little bit in the marketplace.
Sure. I do some training on behavioral styles, as Bertrand just said, using an instrument called the DISC. And in the DISC, these 4 distinct behavioral styles really characterize how we might come across. At a networking event, if somebody who is quite assertive or quite aggressive, let's say, kind of imposes themselves on you without regard to anybody else, it might imply that along the lines of behavioral styles that they come across as what we call a dominant, because they want to be in charge. They want to take control of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
They want to take control of the group. Then you might have somebody else that comes in that's very, I won't use the word, butterfly, I guess.
Okay.
That really is someone that likes to have a lot of fun. Oftentimes they're not good listeners, and they come and you see them kind of touching all the different groups, but never really connecting with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have what I would say are sometimes a little bit more of the wallflowers, the steadies. And they're the ones that they do great in a one-on-one or one-on-two. But when they walk into that room with 50 people, oh my God, let me go away unless I know somebody. And then we have those that are very compliant, who you will see acting very proper, but who will also not really engage. It's really fascinating to watch the styles. Again, it's all about observable behavior.
And they're all present when you go out and network, and I'm certain that you can just pick the ones who are characteristic of what you've just been discussing.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I like to use the word fun a lot. And when Bertrand and I were having coffee one day, I said something about it has to be fun, and he says, "Oh my God, we already know," because yes, we already know. So my primary is what they call an influencer. That's the fun person, if you will, and my secondary is dominant.
Now, where could I take this test to find out what my primary is?
Right here, and I would love to send you one.
I've never done it. I'd love to do it.
It's a great tool. It's an online tool. It takes less than 10 minutes to take, and it provides you a pretty comprehensive report with a lot about things you already know and things you may not know, which is how you're perceived by others, especially when you're under moderate stress or under extreme stress.
Now, is this something that takes a long time?
It's less than 10 minutes.
Really? And I'm sure it gets something that I could use. It tells me something about me, so that would be good.
It'll tell you something about you and how you need to relate to the other styles so you can speak their language.
Yes.
And this is the DISC that we're referring to.
The DISC. Get into their world.
Is this DISC? Okay. All right. Well, guys, if you want to take that test, you can also contact Miss Laura Morales. You can go to her website, website, which is energizeyourOutlook.com, or you can give her a phone call if you're in the Houston area, or if you're, say, in Hoboken. She will travel. Her telephone number is 713-385-1013. Again, her number is 713-385-1013. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, which is brought to you by Sales Nexus. It's the type of CRM that you need in your business to help you improve your sales. Go to salesnexus.com. Try it out for free. I'm sure you'll be impressed. More in a moment with Miss Laura Morales.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan,
The storm's coming.
the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today has been Miss Laura Morales with Energize Your Outlook. Now, Laura, this is our short segment. We're about to wrap the show up, but I did want to talk to you a little bit about communicating and how important that is. Now, is that something that you delve into also as you're teaching individuals how to network better?
Yes, because really in combination with the DISC tool that we were just talking about and just who you are as a person, I try to work with them in terms of how might they relate to somebody that's very different from them so that they can get into their world. And in other words, if I can meet the other person's needs first, then I can have my own needs met. But I need to model my behavior to be similar to theirs.
Now, when you say someone who's different from you, is that something that you encourage?
Yes, just
Okay.
because it helps you grow. Otherwise, you get into that group think, and then you really never get out of there.
Wow, that's interesting because I was part of a study in my senior year of high school where they took a busload. I want to say there was probably 200 kids that they took up to Texas A&M, and what we didn't realize is that the study started once our parents dropped us off, and they were just observing our behavior.
Wow.
And although we were all racist, all everything, we all sort of clung to the people who looked like us.
Oh.
Took the bus up there, had all kinds of party and noise going up there, and they put us all in this big auditorium. They fed us. We all congregated with ourselves again, and these are all students who didn't know each other because we're all from different high schools.
Interesting.
And then on the way back, they made us sit in assigned seating, and it was so quiet and subdued on the way back.
Isn't that interesting?
It may be 3 or 4 rows back before there's another black kid, and so we just sort of acted so differently. And like you say, that does help you grow as you get outside of yourself.
Right.
Laura, we got to have you come back soon.
Oh, well, I would love to, and I definitely would love to come back and love to be here with Bertrand, so maybe we can make
Absolutely.
a little duet.
So before Christmas, you heard it,
Before
Bertrand?
Christmas.
All right.
Great, thank you.
Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to Small Business Today, which has been brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. To get your free copy of the magazine that we produce here, you can go to smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com. Until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else, be in action, and we will see you tomorrow.